some more things in between that stuff. So it's been a lot of fun, at least for me, making the stuff for you guys. But anyways, today we're going to be talking about predicting the next, sort of stars of the NBA. We have an article that we're going to be taking a look at and ranking them. So make sure you comment down below maybe your favorite young player in the NBA. Obviously that term is very misused, and I guess you can interpret it any way you want to, but let me know your favorite young, budding star in today's NBA. I would love to know it. And also, I keep forgetting to do these, but thank you for the super comment. Thank you to Evan. Thank you so much for the super comment. And I know I keep, I'll see these and I'll get super excited and happy for them, and then I'll reply to them in the comments, and then I forget to reply to them in videos. This was a handful of days ago, but yes, I did see this. Thank you so much, Evan. And then also thank you so much to Barry. Thank you so much to Barry as well. Evan has always been around. He's been one of the very loyal viewers. I don't want to say fans, but very loyal person. Contributes a lot to the channel. And Barry, thank you so much as well. Yeah, it really means a lot when you guys do these things. I don't get as much often as I used to, but I still really much do appreciate them. But I think that's everything, so let us get started. First things first, I am super sorry if you guys can hear my neighbors upstairs walking around. It is currently 1:35 in the morning, and they are walking around, stomping basically, and it's very annoying. And I can't really wait till they fall asleep or go to bed, because again, I need to have sleep myself, and it's very rough for me to do that, especially when I have to work the next day while making these videos. So I do apologize. So sorry if throughout the video you hear some muffled stomping and stuff like that. I'll try to do what I can with it. And B, this article's title is actually predicting the NBA's top 10 stars over the next 5 seasons. I don't really know what the title of this video is going to be. I don't know what it's going to be, but that's the article we're going to be off of. But I am mostly going to be thinking about the stars of the up-and-coming players. So this ranking, they're going to have their own. I'm going to have my own. It's going to be kind of different, but sort of the same theming, if that makes any sense. And again, I would love to know your own opinion on sort of the up-and-coming stars who you think is going to really break out, and maybe next season, over 5 years, maybe 10 years. If you know someone like that in today's NBA, definitely let me know. Let's see here. They have a honorable mention section. These are stars that maybe are too young to really see where their potential lies, but also maybe just missing the cut of being a sort of star, like a true star of the NBA. Their honorable mentions for this listing are, of course, some of the younger guys we saw last season break out, like Evan Mobley and Scottie, which definitely makes sense. I think in the next, again, according to this article, in 5 years from now, I don't think any of them are going to be leading a team to a title. You know what I mean? And that's a true star. If you have a true star in the NBA, you're at least getting to the playoffs. You could have a bunch of high schoolers on your team, but if you have that one guy, this one star, you should at least be making the playoffs. And then again, if you have a talent around them, a championship caliber team now, can you do that with Scottie Barnes or Evan Mobley in the next 5 seasons? Maybe, I don't know. Obviously they both made the playoffs last year, but then again, those Raptors and Cavalier team they've been really solid as a conglomerate, as a group, so I can see where that makes sense. They also mention Brandon Ingram missing the cut, where, true, I think Brandon Ingram is just about at that age where he has to take a big step into being the guy we think he can be, the sort of Cade, clone that he could be, maybe one day being the best player, at least the best scorer, the number one option for a title-winning team. Can he be that? I don't really think so anymore. Did he have the potential to be? I think yes, but I think he hit a sort of plateau in his career where I think he's a really great NBA player, but is he a true star? Probably not. Then a very interesting one. They talk about LaMelo Ball, and that's really tough on LaMelo Ball. That's actually a guy I would maybe put on my listing. Not really entirely sure, but they also have a guy again, sort of in that same age group, in Zion. Zion. They do not have Zion in this 10 group, which is crazy. I think again, if Zion can just stay healthy, which is probably why they left him off of this grouping, he could be the best player in basketball, honestly. Like the way we saw him at the end of his sort of run before he got hurt. I mean, the dude averaging like 27 points on like 60% shooting, really solid passer, getting a lot better and more comfortable on the offensive end, can pretty much defend 1 through 5. Like he is that guy, but makes sense on injury. But if we're thinking about this, and what I'm thinking about this is without injury, if they are just their perfect selves, Zion has to be on the listing. And then for LaMelo Ball, sure, on the defensive end makes sense, but man, offensively, LaMelo Ball can, lead. He is an amazing point guard. He could lead probably a franchise. So in 5 seasons, I'd probably have him on my list. Okay, so here we are at number 10. They have Anthony Edwards at number 10. Ant-Man. Interesting. I do think that in 5 seasons, Anthony Edwards will probably be the best shooting guard in the NBA. Obviously, in today's NBA right now, that spot is very, very up for grabs, I think. I mean, there's Bradley Beal, Zach LaVine. Obviously, James Harden's more of a point guard now than maybe throwing Kyrie Irving into that conversation, but do you really? I don't know. What position does Luka play? I mean, like, the shooting guard position is very, at least for me, open. I mean, you have Devin Booker. Actually, Devin Booker would probably be the best, but in 5 years, Anthony Edwards, especially on both ends of the court, like, he might have that, even though Devin Booker will probably still be the best shooting guard. And then Jaylen Brown, oh my goodness, that's actually really tough. But Anthony Edwards will definitely be at least in top 3 with Booker and Jaylen Brown. I think those are my 2. So yeah, number 10, not a bad start. Do I think he can be the best player on like a title-winning team? I think in 5 years, maybe. That's a big maybe. Number 9, and again, I don't like how they added these players. I wish it was like real, like young stars, but they're predicting over the next 5 seasons the best players. And at number 9, they have Joel Embiid, where not really sure how you could really rank that. Joel Embiid through this next 5 years would be 28 to 32, so early 30-year-old Joel Embiid, do you think is going to be that dominant in the NBA still? I don't think he makes my list. I think for me, at least for the article's sake, again, the next 5 years, I think Joel Embiid has maybe definitely next season, the season after that, and then after that, he's gonna start really declining, and that's just how all bigs in the NBA do. It's very rare you see a very graceful end to a big's career. I mean, like, I'm trying to think. Dirk, I mean, 2011, Tim Duncan had a pretty, slow decline. If you can think of any more, let me know. But, like, think of Shaq. Shaq hit, like, 2006 NBA Finals and then dipped hard. And I think, I don't want to say that's how Joel Embiid's career is going to be, but I feel like he's going to have, maybe another season or 2 of, like, this MVP style of play. And then, you're really going to have to build a really solid team around him to make him very impactful. So, I don't think Joel Embiid would make my cut, if I'm being completely honest. But still a great player. He's going to have another MVP season probably next year. And I even picked him to be my MVP last season, so I have a lot of respect for Joel Embiid. But as a sort of like star the next 5 years, I can't really see that, especially if we're thinking about injury, which this article is, because they left Zion off that list because of injury. So again, kind of weird. At 8, they have Ja Morant. They have Ja at 8. For a guy who, was on a team that was second in the West, that was an MVP candidate, but also was a most improved candidate, had maybe, at least in my opinion, he was the player. He was the player of the 2022 season in Memphis. I feel like was the team of the year 2022, because a lot of people didn't see this Memphis team being as good as they are now. So that's just my own opinion. 8th, I think he probably will be over Anthony Edwards. I would put him over guys like, again, we mentioned before, like Brandon Ingram's and LaMelo Ball for sure, but 8 seems kind of low. I as they are now, probably even better if they do, again, stick this team together. Don't let any pieces get moved too much. I think I would put him higher. Even without seeing the rest of the list, I think I would put him higher. I think the only thing will be, as he ages into like his later 20s, early 30s, he needs to have a jump shot. He needs to create more of a threat on the perimeter, shot creation, things like that. He does do it pretty well, but he does it pretty well because people are scared of the blow-by and his speed and his finishing at the rim. That's great, but when you're, 26, 27, 28, that's going to be, decreasing a lot more risk of injury. I'll knock on wood for sure, but definitely need to take that up, but I think I put him up higher. Oh, wow, okay, this is no offense. I didn't even think of this guy when thinking about this listing, but it makes sense, kind of. But I wouldn't put him over Ja Morant. They have Bam Adebayo as number 7. Bam Adebayo. Wow. So what, this would be Bam from like 25 to like 30? Yeah, I don't know about that. I think Bam is amazing. I think Bam is the prototypical new age today center, like a 6'9", 6'10", do-it-all, passing, scoring, defending big, who can rim run, who can defend the post, who can basically guard 1 through 5, maybe 2 through 5, maybe for some of the guards. But I think I would probably even put Anthony Edwards over Bam. I think Bam is an amazing piece to a puzzle. I think it's great to be there in Miami. It works great for him to be next to Jimmy Butler, but I mean, we're talking about Ja, who's going to probably be the best player on probably a title-winning team at some point in time in his career. Anthony Edwards, I'd probably give him more of a props for that. And then think about, again, like, well, they talked about Joel Embiid, but I don't really think Joel Embiid should really be in this conversation. We're talking about, like, the next 5 years or even the future of the NBA. And then you have someone like Zion or LaMelo Ball. I think I would maybe even put Bam out of this conversation. I don't know. I mean, if we're thinking about true stars, like a star who you can, like, he will lead you to a title, I just don't think Bam really can do that. He's a great piece of the puzzle. He's a great 2 option. He's a great B. He's a great Robin. But as a number 1 guy, I don't really know. But he is an amazing player, and probably everyone else wants a Bam Adebayo. 6, we have Trae Young. I feel like that's a good spot for Trae, like a middle of the pack type of guy. Of course, we know the offensive power of a Trae Young, who, man, he might actually be kind of like, he's 23 right now, which is nice. That's pretty good. He led the league in assists, I think, last season. Did he not? If I can remember, I think he did, with like 10 or 11. Great young player, and again, he's going to be 23, 24 to about 28, 29 in this scenario. That's perfect. That's going to be amazing. And again, we all know he's basically Steph Curry. Basically, I'm not saying in every way, but in a lot of ways, his game is going to transition amazingly into his early to mid 30s. He's going to be a player that's going to play until he's like 36, 37 at a very high level, I feel. So it's just the defensive edge and like how he can really build himself around a team and stuff like that's going to be very important. But individually, great player. I think, man, would I rank Ja over Trae Young as to being a better star for the next couple years? Maybe. I think I probably would, because again, the two-way capability and just what we've seen already on how Ja really helps a team, but also the Memphis Grizzlies were just amazing as well. But Ja himself was also amazing. That they're very even. I feel like Ja should be somewhere up here, and so should Trae Young. I feel like, again, Bam Adebayo, Joel Embiid, maybe even Anthony Edwards. Those guys you can really push down a little bit more. At 5, they have Devin Booker. Okay, even though I feel like Devin Booker is like a 33-year-old. I feel like he's been in the league for so long. I still don't understand how Devin Booker is only 25. I swear to God, I feel like Devin Booker is like nearly 30, but he's just barely getting there. But this will be Devin Booker, again, 25, 26 to 30, 31. I mean, that's we're basically almost in prime Devin Booker, and he's already in the finals. He's already known as one of the best scorers in the NBA today. This is a good spot for him, and I think as well as when Chris Paul does leave his mantle as being, the point guard, the ball handler, I feel like once Devin Booker 27. That's kind of pushing it a little bit. I think it's good, and I think, of course, you'd probably obviously put him over all these other guys because he's a two-time back-to-back MVP, so no doubt you're going to see that happen. But again, kind of like him, kind of like Embiid, I don't really count these guys as stars of the future. They are a star now. These guys are going to lead their teams to titles right now. I don't think Ja is going to lead a team to a title next season or even the season after that. Devin Booker also probably not. You need really good teams around him. I think just Nikola Jokic, you can make the playoffs. Just Embiid, you can make the playoffs, and then you build pieces around that. You're a title-winning team, and I'm not really entirely sure about the other way around for the other guys. So, I mean, I agree. I mean, Jokic's game is going to be way more progressive throughout his years than Embiid's. Obviously, a lot more back to the basket, a lot more of a bumping, battling down low type of player. Jokic is more finesse, more out shooting, more pass first. It's gonna transition a lot better. So yes, I agree. He'll be a more capable player later in his career. But again, at 27, I don't really count him as like a star of tomorrow. Here's a guy, number 3. They have Jayson Tatum. Oh man, that's good. That is a really good one. I think he'll probably be the best small forward in basketball in the next 5 years. Obviously, when LeBron is out and Kawhi is out, KD is out. Well, not out, but like they're past that. You only could really argue another player, which we might talk about, but he's more of a 4. So I think a true small forward, I think he probably will be the best, and we already see him in a final. We've already seen him, try to lead a team. He's not there yet, but I think he definitely learned a lot from this final, and this Boston Celtics team desperately needed that finals loss. Like, this finals loss it's really going to be fueling a great fire in not only Jayson Tatum, but the Boston Celtics as a whole. This team could make the finals the next 2-3 years in a row, and I wouldn't bat an eye at it. I wouldn't be surprised because of how good they are, how deep they are, how good the organization is ran, and also having a number 1 guy in Jayson Tatum who's really only going to get better as a leader. The dude is, yes, 23. Jayson Tatum is 23 years old, and at year 28, he's 24, so at year 28, 29, I don't even want to think about the player then, because that is going to be a terrifying player to play against in the NBA. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch him progress even more than what he already is, which is really cool. Oh, okay, at number 2 is a player I thought was actually maybe going to be number 1, but I guess not. It's Luka Doncic at number 2, so I'm assuming they have another player at number 1. Number 2, Luka Doncic, a 25 to 30-year-old Luka. That is, Luka Doncic right now, if you had a really good B option next to him, if you had like a Paul George next to Luka Doncic, I think that team is winning a title. Like, if you have a Bradley Beal style of player next to Luka, or even Jaylen Brown, like, that team is winning a title, you know what I mean? Like, him by himself, we saw, just with a couple of, I don't want to say luck, but every team needs luck when in a playoff run, but even last year with the luck, the talent, the execution, the locked-in readiness the Mavericks had, made it to the conference finals, and they obviously ran into the champs, but you add in a really, 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 really good player next to that, they maybe, I don't want to say they would have been the Warriors, but they have a chance, more of a chance, and I think Luka will win multiple titles in his career. Him being the number 1 guy, he is a star in the NBA already today, without a doubt. Without a doubt, I love Luka. Definitely one of my favorite players in the NBA. That I don't even need to talk about him all that much because, in my opinion, he's probably number 1. But at number 1, I can already guess who it is. It's Giannis Antetokounmpo, which, again, by the way, he's 28. I mean, that's not, again, he is a star already. Like, that is no doubt. Giannis is the best player in basketball. He's the best player in the NBA right now. No duh. But over the next 5 years, 28 to 32, 33, that is going to be interesting because we've seen players, LeBron-like, where they are huge, beefy, dominant NBA players we've seen it a little bit with a little bit of a jump shot. Very good facilitator. He has a very good feel for the game. But when that gets even more in the year 30, 31, 32, how will Giannis really become a different style of play? Like, again, we've seen with, I mean, obviously LeBron, but even a more extreme case, maybe someone like Michael Jordan, who obviously, high flyer too, amazing shooter. Can Giannis do that as well? We're going to have to see. But again, I definitely put him in more of the category of a Jokic, of an Embiid, where these guys are stars in today's NBA. They're not really a star of tomorrow, a star of the future. They are a star now, even over the next 5 years. Yes, of course, they're going to be great, but I think we're going to be talking more about the other guys. So you can actually maybe make like 2 lists for this. And sorry, this video is confusing. I just wanted to talk basketball with you guys because I missed it so much. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. But, I mean, if we're going off of this specific listing, Giannis, Luka, Tatum, and Jokic. Oh, man. I think I'm going to put Jokic over Tatum just because, again, I think Jokic is probably going to have MVP style of numbers for the next handful of seasons, but he's not going to win another one because of voter fatigue. And I think he's always still going to be that good. So I would actually maybe even put Jokic at 3, Tatum at 4. That's kind of a switcher. And then Booker 5. I can agree to that. And then maybe Jaw 6, Trae Young 7. And then at 8, I would probably have maybe like Joel Embiid. Then you would have, oh my goodness, I don't think Bam should be on this list, no offense. I just don't think he's like an A option guy, so sue me for that, but I just don't think he is. So I probably would do Embiid, and then maybe someone like, again, like Anthony Edwards, and then after that for the 10th spot, I mean, dude, like, even the players we did talk about, like LaMelo Ball, or, if you want to think about guys we haven't talked about, like SGA, like Shea, Garland, who else could really be up there as well? Obviously Anthony Davis before he had, like all of these injuries, definitely could have been up there. There are a lot of guys, but if we're talking about fully healthy, I mean, I'm taking Zion, and I'm probably putting Zion definitely over Embiid, just as like a singular player over the next 5 years, if it was no injury. Well, actually, Embiid with no injury would also be really good. Though those are kind of a toss-up as well, and then probably at 10. So those are kind of like my areas. But again, if we're talking about just like stars of the future, Giannis, Jokic, Embiid, they're already stars, and this is like in the next 5 years. If we're talking about just the future in general, oh my God, like Scottie Barnes, Evan Mobley, Cade Cunningham, even the younger guys than that, like even the rookies of this year with Paolo Banchero, Jaden Ivey, Shaedon Sharpe, like those guys I feel like are going to be stars, but that's like 7-8 years from now, so not only 5, but like even further out than that. So definitely let me know down in the comments maybe your favorite young player in today's NBA, who you think could maybe be sort of the top guys as well. I mean, I wasn't really worried about like